to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. This is a beautiful quote quoted by John Quincy Adams. So, with this quote, we would like to begin our talk show named Conversation with Consultants with episode 15 of our guest talk series. So, good evening, everyone. I'm P. Shravan Kumar, the founder of SKANG.
Good evening, everyone. Before we begin our talk show, let me introduce myself. I am Aditi Jain, Strategic Alliance Advisor of SK Associates and Group, and we both are your hosts for today's talk show. So, before we begin, let us introduce SK Associates and Group. We are an ISO certified management consulting firm registered under the MSMED Act 2006 with the Government of India. Our mission is to provide consulting services to student entrepreneurs globally, covering areas such as compliance operations, marketing research and development, human capital strategy and operations. Our passion lies in helping these budding entrepreneurs bring their dreams to life and contribute to global economic growth.
Entrepreneurship is a catalyst for change and innovation. It's a powerful force that can reshape industries, transform lives, and make the world a better place. We are committed to supporting student entrepreneurs on their journey, equipping them with the tools, knowledge, and networks they need to succeed.
Now, before we begin our show, let's take a moment to introduce our guest for today. It gives us immense pleasure to welcome Mr. Harshit Kiran, former CEO, My Lawman, to this special event. We are truly honored by your presence today and we are thrilled to have you share this momentous occasion with us. So, welcome, Mr. Harshit. So,
Thank
now
you.
let's begin. Thank you so much. So, the first question for you is, can you tell us a bit about your journey from law student to practicing advocate and associate counsel?
Yeah, sure. Being a law student, I started my journey as a law student 2017. So, being a law student, I was studying law. I was studying different areas, exploring the different aspects of law. But being there as a law student, there was a uh, different approach in me that I should have something which would help me create my name, which would help me in creating something new. Because as a I am the first generation lawyer of my family. So being a first generation lawyer and being the law student, there was many things when I was researching, when I was studying law. As you all know that being a law student, there are many things which you need to do. Apart from reading books, you need to be updated about the things, you need to do research works about different areas of law and other things. So while researching, when I used to face different types of problems, because many things are there, many research portals are there, many research websites are there, where we can find out research papers, where we can find out different things related to the topic which we are searching for. But still, the main issue was that on which site we should rely, on which site we should not rely. So there were many different questions which used to come in my mind while doing that research work and while working for or while studying law. So at that time, I thought of starting a new thing. I was discussing it with Mr. Shravan right now before the starting of this meeting. I discussed this thing with my professor, Mr. Abhinav Kumar Mishra. So he was my teacher, he was my professor in my college. I discussed it with him. We shared our ideas, we shared our I shared my thought with him that yes, I am facing these problems in doing a research. I am facing these problems while searching for a good and quality paper so that I can rely upon it for my studies, for my other things. When I discussed it with him, he gave me an idea that if you are facing any problem, so instead of looking into the problem, why don't you search for the solution? So from there, an instinct came in me that yes, when I am facing these types of problems would be faced by other law students as well. So from there, we developed this idea of having my lawman. So in 2017, I enrolled as a law student. In 2018 January, we came up with the idea of starting my lawman. So, being a first year law student, I started my journey as a professional as well, becoming the person who is working closely with Mr. Mishra, Mr. Abhinav Kumar Mishra, and we started my lawman there. After that, for 5 years, I was right now discussing also that without investing a single penny, we worked on it. We just gave our time, we just gave our uh, thoughts, we just discussed with each other, we took inputs from the students. We involved we What we did was we involved law students in the field, because my idea was to have such a platform where we can help the law student get solution to each and every questions which is in their mind, or at least they should get solution to each and everything or each and every subject. I can't guarantee that yes 100% solutions can be provided, but yes, we tried at least to provide with the best solution which was available with us. So we included the law students, we took their advice, we are still now open for their advice. So we take advice from the law students, we included the teams of students, we worked with them, we took their inputs, and with the investment of time, with the efforts of all our team members and their hard work, in 2022, I think, yes, in 2022, Asia Law Portal did a survey. So in that survey, we were ranked as one of the top 50 legal startup from India in Asia region. So we were ranked one among top 50 in Asia region. So we worked there. After that, I completed my law. I enrolled myself as an advocate. So from that time, I left my lawman I worked last there as the chief of operations of my lawman. And in 2022, I left my lawman as the chief of operations, and thereafter I began my practice as an advocate. So currently, I'm working as an associate counsel at SKV Associates, and working in different fields, especially related to corporate commercial litigation and other such fields which are related. So currently, I'm practicing as an advocate in the field of litigation and looking into different cases which is coming. So this is whole journey of mine starting from 2020 2017 till date, where I have seen in between. I have also written some books on. I have written a book. I have co-authored a book with my professor, Dr. Anubehel Mehra, on medical negligence. I have I myself have authored a book on legal research and methodology. The reason behind starting my lawman was also the instinct that developed in me because of that legal research. Therefore, I thought there should be something for the students, for the students who are new to law field, that they should at least get some ideas about how to do a research or how to at least start it. So in between, I wrote two books. So this was my journey from 2017 to 24, where starting from a law student, then to an entrepreneur, then to an author, and now as an advocate in the field.
That's great hearing to Harshit. So my question is, as an advocate and associate counsel, what are your key responsibilities that you handle on a day-to-day basis at SKV Associates?
See, as an advocate, you have the main responsibility which all the advocates have is to save their client, is to represent their client. Rather, I should say, not to save, rather to represent their client in the court of law, where we have to try to get our client what they want. What they want is not actually the correct term. Is to give them is to help them get the justice. So that is a big responsibility which every advocate is having. Either he is working with a law firm or he is working independently. He or she is working independently. So as an advocate, you have to do several things, like starting from talking with the client, understanding what client wants, what the story of the client is, why he or she is in such a situation, then working on it as to think what can be the best suggestion which one can give to the client, so that they can think that whether we should opt for this option or not, or whether we should proceed ahead with it or not. Third thing, if yes they think that yes we should proceed ahead, because the most of the clients which comes to us or which comes to any of the advocate of our field, of our fraternity, every client thinks rather they are aggrieved of their some of their rights, or they are aggrieved of something. So it is upon us that how we represent it, how we calm them down, so that they could understand that yes there is a court of law and we are there to help them out with these things, and help them out to get what they have lost, and to help them in getting the justice. So justice is although a big term which should but still yes we can't guarantee anything, but yes we as a lawyer, we as an advocate try to help our client get it. So there are many things which we do as an advocate and as an associate counselor, starting from talking to the client, understanding the client, helping them out by suggesting them, yes, what can be the best option they are having, how we can help them out to achieve what they have lost, to get what they have lost, and how we can help them out to get the justice. Then understanding what client wants and how we can help them out with these things. With respect to law, with respect to law means that yes, under what section, under what article, which court the client should approach, how it should be approached, what are documents to be produced before the court of law. Then further moving ahead, since the biggest opportunity, biggest challenge which we face is that in front of the court we are representing the client. So the biggest point is that yes, when you are representing your client, there should be no such point which should be left untouched, because you don't know that which point can be used in your favor and which point can be used against you. So going through the files, then deciding what to do, how to represent in front of a judge so that he can understand, he can the what we want can be reached out to him. So there are many things which we have to do, starting from the understanding the client's version to implementing law on it, then drafting. Because one of the important thing which a lawyer have is that the draft should be in such a way that it should tell each and every issue, each and every part of what my client is facing. First thing, and second, what he wants. So, so preparing a good draft, doing research on it, because there are other things also which works with the draft and with our representation. So there are many things to do, starting from understanding the client to drafting what all his story is, what all his fact is, and how we are praying and what he is praying for. To research in the field of law that what all judgments are there, whether it can go against us or in our favor. And the most important thing is to represent them in such a good way that yes, the at least we can try our best that the justice is provided to the respective client and the respective person who has approached us. So but there is one concept again which I think is used in MBA terms also most of the times, that everything depends. So that is what we have picked up from there as well. We also say everything depends. What we can do is give our best and can hope for the best, but what will come from there is will depend that how the person sitting on the other side is looking into it, and how the other party whom we are on whom the person is putting an allegation is seeing into it, and what all facts he is producing before the court of law. So there are many things. Sometimes we stand on the opposite side. Sometimes we are the complainant. Sometimes we are the other side on whom the allegations have been made. So standing on both the sides are different experience, and standing on both the sides, you have to think differently, you have to work differently, and you have to research differently, and you have to even represent yourself differently before the law, before the court. So it is quite a different experience, and in both ways the works are different.
Thank you for sharing your views about your roles and responsibilities. So, how has your experience as the honorary director at My Lawman influenced your perspective on the legal profession?
This is something because the work which I'm doing right now is practicing law. But as an honorary director, as a part of my lawman, what I used to do was a part which was related to academics. So both the fields are quite different, but yes, both the fields are quite interrelated. Reason being that right now I said that when a client comes to you, he comes to you with a hope that you are the person who can help him out in getting the justice and working for it, because you are the person who has studied law for the last 5 years 6 years and is practicing law. So being on the academic part, being the honorary director or being the former chief of operations of my lawman, there were different things which I used to do which has helped me out in improving my confidence, in improving my character in the sense that improving my way of presentation. Because character, as a professional, character includes many things: the way how you behave, how you talk, how you represent yourself. So that part of character, your behavior, is what you have seen from the beginning and how you are doing it. So behavior is something which is in you, which you develop from time. by looking into many other things, by looking into the surrounding where you belong to. But having a confidence, having the ability to speak, having the ability to represent in a good way is all that which has helped me out being the director, being the honorary director, or being the COO of My Lawman. Because being there in My Lawman was, I used to contact with multiple persons in a day, starting from a academician to a professional. Professional might be someone who belongs to a, being the owner of a good big law firm, being the owner of a big business, or other things. So it has helped me out in building good communication skills, good representation skills, and many other such skills. Being there has helped me out also to understand and to clear concepts related to the field of law. Like, if I am reading, the way I used to look into the things, the way I have understand, being as a student I used to read it, I used to learn it. But as a person who is putting something on a website, who is putting something, who is getting something published on a website, it was our responsibility that the contents which are getting published there should be the best version of it, so that every person who is visiting the our place, visiting our website, can understand it, can get help from it. So for that you need to be very much clear and very much thorough with the concept. So it has also helped me out to clear my concepts and become thorough with the areas in which I used to look into the works, the area of law in which I used to look the works of my lawman. And being here, being as an advocate is something where I feel like that being a part of my lawman has helped me out a lot. Like today I know, at least I have clear concepts about the law topics, especially in the areas where I was having interest and the areas where I was working in my lawman. So it has helped me out. And it even, there are many things. Being at my lawman, I used to review the drafts of the other persons who are submitting their draft to getting it published. That has helped me out in having a good draft. Although I can, because I can say that being a lawyer and being an advocate is always a learning experience, and you can't be 100% perfect anytime. So being an advocate, you are not as being an advocate, even as a human being, no one can be 100% correct or 100% good in every field. We always have to keep learning. So at least I have that point that yes, being at my lawman, working there has helped me out develop many things like team working, team spirit, team leadership, and other such qualities, which is something which helps an advocate to groom itself from time to time.
With multiple excellence awards to your credit, Harshit, could
Yes.
you highlight a significant achievement that you are particularly proud of?
Actually, I have been awarded with two excellence award, one in 2019 and one I think in 2021 or 2020. Yes. So in 2019, I achieved the excellence award for being for my academics also, and for being a part of my lawman also. Because by that time we have made my lawman reach to at least a place where almost I can say 50% of the law students were accessing it. Because 2019 was the time where we started collaborating with other academic institutions and other such institutions who were organizing different conferences, seminars, and other such things. Additionally, at that time, there was one award show going on in Allahabad. So I think Droid Pinale Group was organizing that Excellence Award. So they shortlisted my name for this Excellence Award, seeing my work in the field of, seeing my work at my lawman, and seeing my work as a academic, as a law student. Because at that time I was second year law student, as well as working, as well as was running my lawman with full with 100, by provide by giving my 100% time in it. So they appreciated it by giving me this honor of having a national excellence award to my name. So it was something which felt good, because it was the first thing as a professional and as a law student which I was having, and that too at a national level. Because when I went there to have this award, I found that there were other students and other candidates from other parts of India. So then I got to know that yes, something good is going on and something good is being appreciated for, and the hard work is showing something good. So That also gave us a motivation that yes, if your work is being appreciated and if your hard work is being appreciated, then you have more responsibility on you, that yes, you have to work more hard and hard ahead so that it can be appreciated in ahead in the future time as well. And if someone is appreciating you for the good work you are doing, then you have to maintain at least this level, and you have to work more hard that so that your level can increase and it should not remain stable. So that is the thing. So with appreciation, with the person starting to know you, the one more responsibility which comes on your shoulder is to maintain it and to work more hard so that you can reach to a next level and to a more better place, and you can see yourself at a more better place in future.
Great, nice to hear. So, could you tell us about your role as the Director of the Executive Council at the AGISS Research Institute and how it contributes to your overall career goals?
As a executive director at Aegis Research Institute, Aegis Research Institute was founded by Mr. Suvesh Kumar. He is an practicing advocate at Supreme Court of India. So, although I was there for a very short time of a year or two like that, but yes, we began at Aegis Research Institute. It was founded by Mr. Suvesh Kumar, Advocate at Supreme Court of India, and we were blessed to have Honorable Mr. Justice KG Balakrishnan, former Chief Justice of India, as our chairman. So we were having a good guidance. We were under a good guidance, and under his blessings, we were working there. So at Aegis Research Institute, we used to do research on different topics. We used to organize seminars and conferences on different topics. So that helped us out in many different ways. Like if I am working for organizing a seminar, so for organizing a seminar, I used to meet different persons. I used to meet different persons, students. I have to attend calls for different things. I have to do many other things. So it helped us out in managing my, we can say, managing my time, because at that time also I was a student, so I have to manage my studies, I have to manage my own organization which I am running, that is my lawman, and I have to work for Aegis Research Institute additionally. So being there, it has helped me out to manage my time, it has helped me out to uh, for in time management, in other things, like in understanding, because when you are working on a research topic, because you have to get a conference organized or you have to get something published or many other things like that. So at that time you need to be very much clear about your own topics, because when we are organizing something at Aegis Research Institute, there were persons from different field who used to approach a field and sections, like it was open for everybody irrespective of they are a law student or not. So for example, if I am having a topic related to company law, or I am having a topic related to company, so Mr. Shravan can also approach me that yes sir, I want to register myself for this event, so how can I do it. Someone who is a student of PhD, who is pursuing PhD, also approached me. So there were different things. So when you are talking to them, for example, I am telling you, I am talking to a person who is pursuing LLM or PhD, who is pursuing masters or PhD in the field. So you know, you need to be very much clear with the concept, because as a simple, as a general person or as a law student, what you think is that it's just a topic, but a PhD student or a LLM student or a master student looks at it in a different way. That is not a topic, there is many other things which is included in that one topic, which is to be researched and which is to be presented in front of us. So being there, you need to be very much clear with, you need to be very much clear with the concepts, you need to be very much clear with what can be covered in this topic, because because even your one line which means something different from what they are thinking will confuse them, that yes, whether they should participate in it or not. So being there was a totally different experience, because there you need to be very much thorough with the concepts. Also, although it was at my lawman also, because we, when we used to review, we need to understand the part of law or the topic which we were reviewing. Reason being that if we are reviewing it, it was the onus was on us to see that whether it is good, the quality is good for publishing it or not, and what more needs to be improved. Because at my lawman, as I told earlier, that we started it with a aim to help out the law students and the legal fraternity. which is even our motto also, which you can find on the website of My Lawman, that our motto is to help the legal fraternity and the law students grow. So it was not only our responsibility that yes, we should get a good content published, but it was our responsibility also to help the students or the persons who are approaching us, that yes, these are the mistakes which you are making, and this should be the change in approach which you should opt for if you want to get any topic or anything published on the website or at any other portal or at any other journal. So in both the places, the responsibility were quite different. But yes, both the places, the one common thing was that we were working not only for our development, but we were also working for the development of the legal fraternity, for the development of law students, and for the development of all those who were coming with us in our, who were connecting with us during our work.
So you have received excellence awards in 2019 and 22. Can you share the projects or contributions that earned you these recognitions exactly?
Actually, in both the recognition were because in 2019 it was recognized because of my work at my lawman and also as a law student, because I think at by that time I have got I have been I have got went for a paper presentation at National Human Rights Conference and many other such places which was organized by reputed organization. Apart from that, I was studying law, and mainly which I think I have received for it was because of the work which I was doing at my lawman, and additionally my studies. So because there were different parameters, since it's I think 3 4 years back, so I don't remember exactly what were the parameters, but I think that the person who filled the form for me, who actually nominated me, has looked into different things, like how much active I am as a law student, and how much active I am as a professional, being the person related to our organization which is working for the legal fraternity and for the betterment of law student. So there were different parameters, and in 2022, since I was associated with two organizations and I was also a student, was working there. By that time I have got my publications done in UGC uh, approved journals. I have got one of my books published and many other things like that. So at that time I got recognized for all these things, being at my lawman, being at Aegis Research Institute, being a student, and also as an author. So there were different parameters for getting nominated for it, and I think in both the times there were different things, and there were additional things which I think they would have seen, so they have nominated for that.
Thank you for sharing. So, your book, Legal Research and Methodology, has been well received. So, what inspired you to write on this topic, and what message do you hope readers might have taken away from it?
See, actually, my book, that is Legal Research and Methodology, is something which I have written in my words. Reason being that there are multiple books. I don't say that it is the only book which is there. There are multiple books, and there are books of good author, much better, best authors who are there in the field of law, who is writing something and which really helps us out to do the legal research, and there are other things. But as I started during while starting this session, started with a point that we started my lawman with the motive to help out law students and legal fraternity. See, legal fraternity includes many person, many other practitioners, including PhD students, LLM students, LLB students, 5 years, 3 years, and many other advocates and many other person. But what why I wrote a legal research and methodology book was the reason being that when I was doing my research, I wrote it in the year 2022. Yes, I wrote it in the year 2022. So why while doing my research for the last 5 years from 2017 till 22, I realized that yes, there are much better books. There are many books which would help us out in doing the research work, but still there was something which according to me was missing. Reason being that there were books I used to read, I used to get guidance from, but still that one thing, like what content we should rely upon. Just there are were many things, but one point is that what content we should rely upon and on what content we should not rely upon. First thing. Second thing, where we should go. And the third most important thing was that if we are starting a research, work, if for writing a paper for the academic purpose, what should be our approach? What should be the step which should be taken? What should be the step one? For example, if I say, if for example, if someone gives me topic entrepreneurship and law, or student entrepreneurship and um, for example skills, then what should be the first thing which should come in our mind, or how we should look into this topic? Because this is, for us, it's just a line, it's just a title, but the person who is researching in it, there are many multiple things which will fall under it. Like if we talk about entrepreneur skills, there are multiple skills which I think Mr. Shravan can point out much better, in a much better way, and he can take around 1 to 2 hour session on it, because he himself is I know him from 2021, Shravan, or 22, 21, I think. During the time of COVID, we met for the first time. So I know him, so he can take a good session on this topic related to entrepreneurship and other things. And he visits a lot more places for this also. So I really feel happy to know him and to be one part of this SK Associates and family. So that is the thing. So for us, it's just a line, but for the person who is researching on this topic, is there are many things which is included in it. So what should be the approach? How you should look into the topic? How you should look into it? How you should? What should be the second step? Where you should approach? How you should see? See, being in a place where we are in the digital era, the term which has been used by many of the person, that this is the digital era, we use everything online, and especially after the COVID-19, everything has become online. Today we are meeting virtually, or earlier we used to meet physically. So that is the difference which we are seeing. So the thing is that when you are searching on a topic online, you will find multiple things, but what point is that which should be used? And if you are using a point, how you can see that? For example, if we do a research on a law topic, there are multiple judgments which are there. But how to choose which one to use? How to choose that, yes, this is the most appropriate judgment, or this is the most appropriate article which we can rely upon? So there were many things which came into my mind while I used to research for the academic purposes, while I used to research for writing a research paper or other such things. So that is what all I put in this book, and I have made it free. It is available online for free for all the students and all the persons who wants to read it. And that is what I have put, that yes, how you should do a research, what is the difference between different types of research, and in what type of, if you're opting for a specific part of research, a specific type of research for your paper or for your uh, academic purposes, then how you should approach and what should be the steps that should be taken. So that is what I have incorporated in it, with the hope that yes, the students who are reading it can also, I have written it from the point of view of a student, with the hope that apart from me, the other students who will read it will understand that yes, these are the issues which we are facing, and there is answer to these questions at least. So it is not a heavy book, or it is not a book of 2000 pages. It is just a book of, I think, 90 or 100 pages. And in that, chapter wise, I have tried to explain that yes, what should be the approach, and I have dealt with the questions which I which used to come in my mind when I used to research, and how I have reached the point where I can rely upon something. And I have made that paper which got published in UGC journal or any other such good places. So I have, basically what I have done is I have highlighted those questions and provided answer to those questions, the questions which used to come in my mind while doing that research.
Harshit, I have just one or two crisp questions for you, which you can maybe
Please.
answer out in numbers to make it short again. How many research papers have you published till date?
Actually, sorry, but I have not counted it. It's not much, but yes, it is in a good
Around.
quantity, because my point was to not to get multiple papers published. My point was that get at least one paper published, but it should be of a good quality. So I have not got much paper published, yes, but what papers which has been published was at a good place and in a good journals.
I mean, on rough average, two, three, four, five,
No, it would be around, I think, 8 or more than 10 papers.
more than that. That's great. So all of them are UGC
No, no,
accredited
all of
journals
them
again.
are not UGC approved journals, but yes, they are journals from different renowned colleges and different such places like. I for one of my paper got published in the UGC renowned journal. Two of my papers have been published in UGC Group A journal. Apart from that, some of my papers were in the renowned journals of different colleges and universities, like Banaras
Great.
Hindu University and
Kind of have a small request to make, Harshit, if you don't mind it.
please.
Like most of the people who are actually attending out our conferences or colloquiums are actually associated to research, like they are PhD scholars. So if you can just share out a list of the journals where you have published out your papers already, if you have completed publication process, we could share it out with our attendees and it would be useful for them since they always have to make a list of journals they want to target if you have already known the process.
See, actually, the process is something. See, there are two types of journal. One is UGC. Actually, there are three types. One is a Scopus-based journal, one is UGC journal, and the other is general journals. What I think is that when you are writing a good paper, you should try to approach the journals having a good ranking. Because it's been once again, I'm really sorry that I don't remember the names because it's been two, I think around 1.5 years or 2 years approx that my last paper was lastly I got that my book published, and after that I have no papers published as of now. So it was during my career as a in my lawman and during my time as a law student when I got most of my papers published. So see, everything there is a in every work which you do there is a procedure, there is a process. So if someone sees that yes, I will, what I think, this is my opinion. It might be wrong. It might be something which would not be acceptable to other persons or my colleagues who are attending this. But this is what I have learned, and this is what my opinion is about the things. So what I think is that everything has a process, everything has a way. So the way is that when you begin with any writings or when you begin with any of the research topic, and you want to get it published, I think you should approach multiple journals for it. Multiple journals means that, see, today everything is available online. When you will type on Google that rankings, you can get a good number of rankings there, good number of journals with their names and rankings available on the website. But still there are something that we have other journals which are using the name of the original journals, but actually they are not the actual journals. So for that you need to be very much clear with the website name and other such details, like for example, if a journal is having, for example, skassociates.com and skassociates.in, so you need to know that yes, which is the original website, so that you can get it published at a correct place. Because I also faced this issue. There was a journal, I don't remember the name. I in 2020, yes, during the COVID times, I visited the website. I thought it was the correct website. Actually, it was not the correct website. It was the fake website of that very journal, and they asked for a huge amount for getting it published, and I denied to it. Later on, when I visited the websites, both the websites, the one from the website from where I got the ranking, the original website, and this one, you can't find out the difference. The only difference was of a dot in the URL. So you need to be first of all very precise with that thing, that yes, your paper is going to the correct place, what you have written is going to the correct place. Second thing, what I think you can do is that when you are approaching any of the journals to get your paper published, they do a review work of your paper. So you can at least request them, irrespective of, see, if a journal is at a good place and they are receiving 100 of papers in a day, the parameters to check that article is different, to check that blog or article or other things are different. But yes, you, when you are dropping an email or when you are contacting them, you can at least request them that yes, if there is something, please let us know that what all you are improving. First thing. Second thing, whenever, what I think is that whenever you give submit any article or any of the your research papers for publication, they make a minor or they make a quite some changes in your paper to get it published so that it is better, because they look for the quality. So what you can do is that when you are getting your paper published, you should at least read it what you have sent, and you should compare it with what have been published, because that can also clear up your concept about what are the points which a publisher looks at. Third thing, When you are writing a research paper, please keep in mind that you are writing it so that other person can read it and understand it. So it should reflect what you want to convey, but yes, it should be in such a way that the other person, when he or she is reading it, he can understand that yes, what has been written there, and he can take out the points which he wanted from the article which he is reading. So one rule which my professor told me when I was writing my book, and when I used to write, the first guideline which he gave me, Mr. Abhinav Mishra gave me, was when you are writing as a author, think from the point of view of a person who is reading it. So that is the one thing, that is one thing which you need to keep in mind while writing. And even my senior, Mr. Vaibhav Agnihotri, with whom I am working, under whom I am working right now, he also told me the same thing while I was learning drafting from him. He told me that drafting anything, you need to think from the point of the person who is going to read it. So that, because you are, why you are drafting so that he can read it and he can understand your version. So if he is unable to understand what you are writing, and if he is still confused after what you have drafted, then it is not a good draft. So in both the places, as an advocate and as an academic person, this is something which is common, that when you are writing, think from the point of view of a reader. That when the person is reading, he should be clear with what you want to present to him. So that is the thing. So for getting a paper published, first thing is, when you write, think from the point of view of a reader. Second, while writing, be clear with your concepts, because when you are clear with your concepts, then only you can present it in a better way. Third thing, you should be in and out with the concept. You should be thorough with the concept, because when someone is reading your paper, he is of the opinion that the person who has written it, irrespective of he is a student or other thing, he is at least having a knowledge of that point. So you should be clear with that. Fourth thing, when while getting it published, you should approach journals. Yes, I know that when you are approaching different journals, they have a point in the form mentioned that this should not get published at any other place. So if you are getting your paper submitted at multiple places, it's your responsibility that if it gets selected at one journal, and let's suppose you have submitted it at two places, and one is A, one is B. A selects your paper for publication, then it's your responsibility that you inform the journal B that my paper has been selected, so that it should not violate the it should not infringe the copyright. Because when you are getting it published, you have to give your copyright certificate to the journal that yes, it has not been published anywhere else. So that is the thing. So you can try approaching different places, but yes, it should also be clear that if it gets selected at a place and you want to get it published there, you should inform the other journals that yes, it has been selected. Apart from that, being from the, when you will start, the first thing is you need to start from a point. So in the very beginning, if you will think that yes, I will get the bestest journal, or I will get at the topmost point, I think although that is possible, if you work so much hard, that will take time as well. But yes, if you want to learn and grow with time, I think how you should start is to start from a small place where they can teach you that yes, these are the points which are to be improved. Yes, these are the points where you can improvise your paper, get it published there, then try to another level, then try to another level, and then with every step your paper will improve, your research work will improve, the quality which you are delivering to the publisher will improve, and the time will come when every paper which you write will get published at the bestest place which is there in the field of journal, and at the topmost at the top ranked journal. So I think you should opt for a step by step growth. And yes, what I think is, like I told right now 5 or 10 minutes back that earlier, that don't rush after getting paper published. That is, in 5 years I will get 100 of papers published, because that will become a number at a time. But if you get only 10 papers published, or if you get only 5 papers published, for example, but that paper is of that quality, which is being used by other person, which is being referred by other person while writing their research papers, and which is being liked by the society, that is the main thing which you need to have. Because see, there are thousands, millions of papers which are available online, but not every paper is getting referred in the other, in the articles. If I am writing any research paper right now, I don't know how many there would be million of articles on a topic on which I would be researching, but yes, I will quote only two or three, I will refer only two or three articles which I think are the best articles available. So your motive should be that I will write such an article or I will get such a research paper published which is of a good quality, which will be referred by the other person or other researcher while he or she is researching on the respective topics. So that is what I think you should have while writing and getting a research paper published.
Great, thank you for sharing it. Law and entrepreneurship seems like very different goals. So can you share what specific opportunity or problem you identified that made you consider this entrepreneurial path?
See, actually, in my case, the law and entrepreneurship both was related to each other because the organization or my lawman which I started with Mr. Abhinav Kumar Mishra was something which was related to the field of law, and which not only helped me as a professional but it has helped me more as a law student and a person who is related to the field of law. So in that case, although yes, the problems which we face in both the spaces are quite different, but in my case, it was something that which was, although I was facing problem in the other side or this side, but although both were interrelated, being the reason being that both were related to the field of law. So that is something which was, I think, yes, it was quite beneficial for me as a law student and as a professional as well. That what I was studying was being incorporated in my entrepreneur in my lawman, and what I was doing there was helping me out to clear the concepts in the field of law.
Here, Mr. Kiran, like being a researcher and meeting a fellow researcher and entrepreneur both in the common sense is very rare for me, but still, I had a last question to ask you and hope it's not too personal. Being a man of science and a man of research, like pure research, do you believe in God? And if so, then why?
See, this is something very, what I should say, but
And
Question.
I understand totally. That's the reason I put it up as a bit personal, maybe.
uh, yes, I do believe in God. The reason being that yes, I am a person of science. I have studied science till my class 12th. After that, I have pursued law. So, science is something different which gives a reason to what we do and how the things work. But still, there are some questions which are left untouched. And so, this is something, and I do believe that there is something internal and something, some power is there which is working. So, it's not necessarily, see, my point is that there is still something which is there. If you are doing with anything with a good motive, you will definitely achieve it. So my approach is something different to the things. So I believe both in science as well as God. The place where science is correct, there I believe science. The place where I think that God is there, I believe it, because see, some things are there which you don't need a reason to believe on it. So that is God. So I think that yes, there is God, but yes, for that you need to. The simple thing is that you need to work hard, and if there is God, you don't need to rely upon him or her. That yes, you are there for my betterment, so I will not do hard work. The thing is that you need to do hard work. Then only he or she will support you out to be a good person and to be at a point, to be at a place where you see yourself in future. So that the last question was quite tricky, but I think I had answered it in a better way. So,
That's great. Another question I would like to put if Ms. Jane has no questions to ask, or she can continue the question later on, I think. Um, Being an entrepreneur and a researcher, like obviously we understand that there are multiple entrepreneurs watching this talk show today. So again, my question here is very simple. Like we have always noticed that entrepreneurs try to get themselves promoted on public platforms. That's very common. but unfortunately multiple of them do not know the means of doing so. So what is your perception, or what is your advice to those young entrepreneurs out there who are trying to get listed on public platforms? How do they do it in multiple ways?
See, actually, this question is something which relates to the field, the area in which you are starting your business or your entrepreneurship. Because every area needs a different. See, being on the public forum is something, yes, it is a good thing because there you get to listen to others. Like, I was there in one of the conference hosted by you, and I was listening to the other persons and other guests, honorable guests who were there, and I got to learn a lot of things from them. So yes, being in a public place is something where you can talk to the other person, where you can discuss your points with other person, you can invite suggestions for your own business, you can work on it, you can even get a good investment from that place. And but still my answer is that the public forums depend upon the area which you are opting for. Like for example, if I say, if I am opting for my lawman, instead of being in the public forum, my lawman needs more to be in the area where people are referring to it, people are reading it. See, because I'm not in the offline mode, I am in the online mode. So my work would be to get it rated at such a good, with such a good number or with such a good stars, so that when a person research any law topic, my lawman is highlighted at the very first place, or the link referring to my lawman article should be at the first place. So now being in public forum is in two ways. That is one through social media, and the purpose is also different. Like if you are using public forum for marketing, then your approach should be different. Your approach should be to be at the social media. Your approach should be that your banner should be there in the public. Your approach should be that people should, it should be at such a place where the persons who are going from one place to another seeing that yes, there is something which is there in this field also. But with respect to your work and with your own presence, I think when you work hard and when you give a quality product might be anything. Like we publish articles, blogs, the product can be the articles and blogs which we are delivering to the law and the legal fraternity and the society. The person who is doing any other such things is his respective product which he is giving. So if your product is good, if you are giving, if you are delivering a quality product, the persons themselves will know you, and the persons themselves will at least know your brand. Because I think for any entrepreneur or for any professional, the the name with which they would love to be known is their own brand name. That yes, this is the person. Like I think if I can say that yes, Mr. Shravan, he is the CEO. I don't want to say him that he is Mr. Shravan P. Shravan, but I would like to recognize him as the CEO of SK Associates and Group. So that is something which every entrepreneur or every businessman would love to hear from the society. So that is the thing. So if you deliver quality products, yes, I do understand that it will take time, but yes, at the end, when you are known by the name on which you have worked hard, so that it could get renowned, it could be known to the all the persons who are in the society, then it is the best thing which you can receive. Because if the person are knowing your name in the sense your brand, then that is something which is quite appreciable, and which should be more appreciated. And so I think instead of uh, being in the public forum, so that people should know, that the society should know that yes, this is the person who is doing this, rather than that, if you are delivering good products, if you're delivering quality products, and your brand is getting known to the society, that is much more better than getting to be there and marketing for your own stuff. Because then the brand will market for you, you don't need to market for the brand.
That's good. Ms. Jane, I would appreciate it if you can take over from you.
Sure. So, the last question which I want to ask, so what do you believe are the three qualities that can make or can make someone be a star in any field that he or she chooses?
See, this is something which will again differ from person to person, because this is something which we are asking for a opinion. Basically, what is my opinion about this thing? So my this opinion can vary from person to person again. But yes, my thinking is that first is you need to understand. First of all, you need to be very much. Uh, you need to think before taking any action. That is the main thing. I will repeat the same thing again, which you would have been listening from many times from your uh, uh, upper generations, from your elder ones. But the same thing which I have followed and I have also listened, and yes, it has worked for me. So I will point out these things only, that before taking any action, you should think of it twice, thrice, and when you are satisfied with yes, what step I am taking or what decision I am taking is the correct decision, then you should take that decision. And one more thing, when you are taking any decision, you need to work hard on it, because if you are not working hard on it, then the very first step of taking the decision was wrong. Then you have taken the wrong decision. And if you have taken a decision and you need to work for it, either day or night, irrespective of what time it is, you need to work. When work calls, you have to work, and you will, and you should work, so that it would result and it would provide benefit to you and your respective profession. First thing is that. Second thing is that you should be hardworking, which I have already included. That yes, you should work hard, because if you're not working hard, then your very first instance of taking the decision is wrong. So if the once when it is about you and your own growth, and that for that time you have taken the wrong decision, then how can you take further decisions correct, which is related to your work? So that is why the first decision which we are taking, where you have to work for your own growth, that should be the correct decision. So think twice, thrice, or four times, discuss it with your parent, because they are the best guide you can have in your life, because they are experienced, they have seen many other things which we haven't seen yet. So talk to them, discuss with them, take their opinion, and then make a decision. Now after making the decision, plan how you need to work in that field, how you need to work on your decision. And now only planning won't work you out or won't help you out, so you need to execute it in a better way. So plan it and execute it and work hard on it, and you will definitely get what you want to get and what you have planned.
Great. Thank you for sharing your views. Moving ahead, we would like to express our sincere gratitude to Mr. Harshit Kiran, former CEO, My Lawman, for being a guest for today at Conversation with Consultants. Your presence and engagement helped it to make it a success, so thank you for providing insight into your inspirational journey. Further, we would also like to thank our audience for listening patiently throughout the event. So, thank you everyone for joining with us today and hope that everyone has gained some knowledge from this event. So, thank you for joining.
Thank you so much, and I would love to be a part of conferences ahead also in future. And thank you so much for inviting. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.